Peace. What's the word, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before we start building on the subject matter for the day. Hopefully, y'all having a powerful Friday thus far. Starting that weekend off on a positive and powerful note. Y'all see the subject matter for the day, man. We're going to talk about something so simple yet misunderstood, and that is water. You know, a lot of people don't understand the science behind water consumption. And I'm going to break some things down to you all today, and hopefully it will help you all out on your health and fitness journey in reference to how much water should you be consuming on a day-to-day basis, how to determine if you are consuming enough water, things along those lines, how to get water without actually drinking water. A lot of people don't understand that simple science, but I'm going to give everybody about minute, 2 minutes to tap on in with the kid, man. Let me know how y'all living and feeling before I start building on this subject matter, before I start talking about water, the science of water. So how y'all living, how y'all feeling on this wonderful Friday? What's the word? Weather all good on my end, man. How y'all living? AK Peace, what's happening? What's the word? What's the word? Hey, Bathing Soul Peace, what's happening? You say 120 ounces? We're going to break some things down, you know. And the water is drinking water is viewed in the same light as eating food. So it sometimes it's not about how much water you drink, just like it's not about how much food that you actually eat. It's about the food that has been absorbed. So you got to absorb the nutrients. How much water are you keeping? So that's another thing to keep under consideration. How much water are you actually keeping when you are drinking the water? Just like when you consuming the food, how many other nutrients are actually being absorbed? That's very important. So you could be drinking a lot of water, but are you retaining enough water? And that's something that I'm going to build on, because a lot of times we drink water improperly. So while we think that we drinking the water, our body is not actually keeping the proper amount of water. Just like when we think we eating foods that contain a certain amount of vitamins and minerals, those vitamins and minerals are not being properly absorbed because we're not thoroughly chewing the food. We combining it with the wrong foods, things like that. So you may say, oh, I eat a lot of oranges or something. My vitamin C should be up. Or I'm eating a lot of strawberries. My vitamin C should be up. Well, are you thoroughly chewing the strawberry to get the proper vitamin C? Are you absorbing all of the nutrients from the strawberry? A lot of times we don't do. It's two things that we do that we don't think about. Two things. One is for food, the other is for water. We tend to bash food without chewing it thoroughly, and then we tend to gulp down the water and not sip it throughout the day. Those two things are very negative. Very negative. But since the subject matter is water, I'm going to break down why chugging that water, why gulping that water down is negative, and it's actually causing you to lose more water. So if you drinking a gallon of water a day, but you chugging that gallon down throughout the day, or you wait to the last minute and try to chug half that gallon down and within an hour, you actually going to cause your body to get rid of more water. And that's not what you want. But in your mind, you consume the whole gallon for the day. But your body did not retain that gallon. So that's very important. So do not chug that water down. Do not gulp that water down. You got to sip that water throughout the day. That's very important. That's how your body going to keep the proper amount of water, which is what we need to be properly hydrated. And also, and Milton Peace, what's happening? Diamond Peace. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break that down. Give me a second. Learn to love myself. Peace, what's happening? Hey, Milton, there we go. Memphis, Tennessee, the fam. Shout out to Memphis, man. I rock with Memphis, man. Y'all about 4 hours and some change away from the kid. Shout out to Memphis, though. Shout out to Memphis. And I wrote on Facebook, I made a status on Facebook saying that you don't actually have to drink water to get water. And matter of fact, I was watching something on YouTube. I forgot the brother's name. Y'all know this dude, man. He's a very popular, like, I think he's a raw foodist, fruitarian type deal. He's a raw foodist for sure. I forget his name. It's like Aris Latham, I believe. I think that was him who I was watching, I think. But he was talking about how he basically gets enough water without actually drinking water because he consumes a lot of fruits. You know, so that's how he gets his water intake. So it was like the headline was like the guy that doesn't drink water or something like that, which is kind of misleading. I mean, he gets his water in, but he just doesn't actually go out and drink water. He consumes a lot of fruit, which, as we know, fruits contain a lot of water. And that's how I live. Like my body water is above 60%. Matter of fact, I can go give the exact number from the last time that I tapped in and got that number. Let me see what it was exactly. So my body water was at 61.7%. That's almost about right where it needs to be. That's putting me in the average range, which is good. Jasmine Peach Queen, what's happening? 61.7. And I don't actually go out of my way to drink a lot of water. I get a lot of my water in through fruits. That's how I do it. Like I eat a lot of fruits. I would drink a lot of smoothies, and that's how my water remains high. And again, on top of that, I'm retaining a lot of the water because I'm not gulping the water down, which is what a lot of people do, which is why some people can get on my scale and be like, man, I've been drinking water all day. How's my water low? Well, how were you drinking that water? Just because you was drinking some water doesn't mean your body held on to it. You know, so that's why when people would get on my scale and be like, man, my water low, like that's all I've been drinking. Like, nah, you was probably drinking it too fast. Just like you can be deficient in a nutrient and consume a high amount of that particular food that contains that nutrient, but you're still deficient because you're not thoroughly chewing the food. Like, how's my vitamin C low and all I'm eating is broccoli and strawberries and things like that, mangoes. You're not chewing them thoroughly. So it's not being properly absorbed. Or you combining it with some nonsense. You eating that strawberry, you putting chocolate on top of the strawberries. Don't do that. Eat strawberry by itself. So we got to pay attention to these type of things. Just like water. Technically, you're not supposed to be drinking water with a meal. But what we have been told is, oh, it's washing it down. Negative. You either want to drink that water like 30 minutes before you consume some food, or you wait to about 30 minutes to an hour after the fact and drink the water. But you definitely don't want to drink the water with the actual meal, technically. And that's another thing that we tend to do incorrectly. We drink that water with the meal and do what we think is called washing it down. Nope, it's not what's happening. J98, you said I was told to try and drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. Y'all know how it is. That's what they recommend. But we gonna break that down though. Trill Peace, what's happening? Antoinette Peach Queen, what's going on? Doris Garden Peach Queen, what's happening? AC Peace, Nita Peach Queen, what's happening? So it's a lot of different recommendations out here for how much water should we drink throughout the day. You got 8 glasses, you got half your body weight in ounces, you got people tell you to drink a gallon, got all these recommendations. Which one is correct? Well, I say don't even go by any of those recommendations, just go by your urine. That's the easy way to determine whether or not you are properly hydrated. Look at your urine. It should be just about clear. Just about clear, like a little sprinkle of yellow in that joint, with little to no odor. So if you analyze your urine and it's just a hint of yellow with little to no odor, you are properly hydrated. That's the way to determine that. So instead of trying to stress yourself out, say, oh man, I got to make sure I get through this gallon, which is going to cause you to gulp down the water. See, this is a problem with some of the recommendations. It causes people to drink water improperly. So if somebody tells you to drink, you should be drinking 8 glasses of water a day, then what are you going to do when it's 5, 6 o'clock and you only have drank 3 or 4? You about to try to rush and drink the 5 or the 4. Negative. It's not what you want to do. So just analyze your urine. The urine doesn't lie. Like the body doesn't lie. All you got to do is analyze the urine. That's it. You got that dark yellow urine, then that means, oh, we dehydrated out here. We need some water. But again, if it's that hint of yellow, little to no odor, it's like, okay, we properly hydrated out here, we good. But with some of these recommendations, it causes people to drink water improperly. Oh, I got to drink this gallon a day. It's 7 o'clock at night, and I've only drank half a gallon. I got to chug this other half down. Yeah, I drank my water. Negative. Negative. Your body not about to keep any of that water. And matter of fact, I want to give y'all the actual science behind that. So I'm going to share this screen real quick, and I'm going to read an article. You know, just researching and found an article that I can share with y'all that y'all can also look up. Clocks in, peace, what's happening, Dakota, peace. But let me share this screen with y'all real quick. And we're going to read this article. All right, boom, we in there. All right, y'all see what hyponatremia, that's basically water intoxication. That's drinking too much water. People seem to think that's not a thing. You definitely can. Too much of anything will kill you. So yes, you could definitely become intoxicated off of water. Very possible. And it happens more than people know. But let me break this article down to you all. So hyponatremia, as your body tries to get rid of the excess gulp down water, the sodium level of the blood falls due to the absorption of salts in the expelled water. This can give rise to a condition called hyponatremia, commonly known as water intoxication. This causes exhaustion and headaches, and in extreme conditions, the excess water moves from the blood to the cells, causing them to swell. Swelling in the brain demands immediate treatment. So this is how dangerous this water intoxication can become. And this can happen when you gulp down the water. So be mindful. So yet, how can such a simple thing like chugging down water cause such major problems in the body? This very reason is why people undergoing physical exertion are asked to cool down a bit and take sips of water rather than gulping it down. Their body is losing water through perspiration from their skin and excess evaporation through heavy breathing. Gulping down water will only lead to an even more significant loss of water, indirectly leading to the loss of even more salts from the blood. This causes headache and fatigue. Sometimes water gets incorrectly stored in the body due to the inefficient functioning of kidneys. This leads to swelling in the legs as the water starts accumulating in the lower regions of the body through the action of gravity. Now let's go back to the screen. Let me remove this, stop sharing it. Boom. Rome, peace, what's happening? So y'all see the article. It's telling you chugging the water down, gulping the water down can cause the water intoxication. And we see how powerful or how detrimental the water intoxication can become for you. So slow down on the water, man. Just sip that water throughout the day and you will be just fine. And once again, don't even focus on, oh, I need to do 8 glasses. I need to do a gallon. I need to do half my body weight in ounces. Don't even focus on any of that. Just focus on analyzing the urine. That's the most important thing. Just analyze the urine. And on top of that, just make sure you're consuming enough fruits throughout the day. If you're eating fruits consistently throughout the day, more than likely you also getting enough water in. You know, and again, the urine doesn't necessarily lie to you. You know, so just analyze that urine, man, and make sure you're taking sips and then consume the fruits and everything will be good. Everything will be good. And also, Kev, peace, what's happening? Rome, let's get it. Let's get it. Kyle, peace, what's happening? And like I said, with meals, try not to drink water with food. You know, give yourself 30 minutes or 30 minutes to an hour after the meal has been consumed. Drink the water or before. So be mindful of that. Oh, Doris Guard, PGF for sure. Kyle, you say what urine supposed to look out for? You just want to analyze, like if it's almost clear with a hint of yellow and little to no odor, then you properly hydrated. Now, if you got that dark yellow urine, we already know that that's a sign of dehydration. So if it's like just a hint of yellow, little to no odor, we good. Kev, you say, how do you feel about water filters from the faucet? I got a joint right here, and I forget what you call it, but I got a joint right here. It lets you know on the back how pure is your water. When I figure out what the name of this actually is, you know, I'll let y'all know. You can order this joint off Amazon. So you always should be checking your water. I don't care what water it is. I don't care if you got filters. I don't care about any of that. Always get something to where you can test how pure your water actually is. This is something that I got, man. You just boom, stick it in the water. Stick it in the water, and it's going to let you know, hey, this water is pure. It's going to let you know, hey, this water is contaminated severely. Y'all see it's levels to it. Levels to it. You see that red? I mean, you can barely see it's a glare. But that red letting you know, hey, this is some severely contaminated water. Also, test the water that you take a shower and a bath with. That's crucial. A lot of times, man, we may be suffering from ailments that's coming from the water that we shower with. The water that we take showers with is definitely contaminated. Definitely. So you may be taking a bath with dirty water and don't even realize it. You thinking you're cleaning yourself, but no, you're really poisoning yourself. So we always talk about tap water, drinking the water out the sink and the faucet and whatnot. What about the shower water? What type of water do you think that is? But nobody focuses on that water because we apparently we don't think that the water touching the skin is a problem. No, if you got contaminated water and it's touching your skin, then best believe it can make its way inside of you. It will make its way inside of you. It will make its way inside of you. So if you taking a shower or a bath with poisonous water, that those poisons, those contaminants will make their way inside of you. So test your shower water, test the water that you take a bath with, test all of the water. Any water that you encounter, test that water so you can see what you up against out here, man. So we gotta really know what we up against, man. When we say they poison in the water, we mean they are poisoning the water. So we gotta be on it. We gotta be on it. Kev, I got it from Amazon, man. I can't even think of like the actual name of this joint, man. I got it so long ago. Man. Let me see if I can find man. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find what this joint actually is. Water. I'm gonna type this in. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. So go on Amazon and type in water quality tester, accurate and reliable home forest TDS meter. I'm gonna repeat that again. Water quality tester, accurate and reliable home forest TDS meter. Type that on. It's $14.97 on Amazon. $14.97 on Amazon. Everybody should have that. Everybody should have that. Doors Garden. You can get like a filter for your shower water. We can get a filter for all that water, but you just got to know if the water is damaged or not. But you can get filters for all of that. Now the stuff can get expensive and pricey, but hey, it's expensive and pricey when we suffering from these ailments too. But yeah, you can get a shower, like you can get a shower water filter also. So a lot of times we only get filters for like the faucet, but you can get the same type of things for like showers and whatnot. But I say I bring that up to point out that when I talk about veganism and consuming certain foods, that people think that's the end all be all. Like, no, they are poisoning us on a lot of different levels. So we it's a lot of things that we sleep on that's affecting us severely that we not hip to, and that's how they getting us. So it's a lot of times we may be suffering from ailments that have something to do with, like I said, the shower water, man. Even some of the fabrics, like when you buy sheets, like man, that stuff can be contaminated with all type of chemicals and whatnot. Man, you could be using the wrong detergent, and that could be messing you up because it's contaminated with certain chemicals that's destroying us. Y'all already know about the aluminum in a lot of these deodorants. So it's a lot of things that we be overlooking that contains a lot of chemicals and contaminants that's poisoning us. So it's a lot of things outside of the actual food that we consume that's causing damage internally, and we not hip. So we suffer from a lot of these ailments like cancers and things like that, and that can be caused from a lot of these small things that I'm mentioning that we overlook. That shower water can be cancerous. You know what I'm saying? Those sheets can contain cancerous chemicals. That detergent can be cancerous. We already know about radiation from microwaves. We know about radiation from electronic devices. You can be staring at a phone for too long, and that's emitting that radiation. It's a lot of things that we up against out here that we're not paying attention to. Needed for sure. For sure. No need to rush. No need to rush at all. Kev, no doubt. Corey, for sure. And we ain't even striving, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even striving to be 100%. Hey, we cool with 80 or 90, you know? But yeah, the toxic artificial foods definitely have a lot to do with toxic and artificial people. But that was part of the plan also. That was part of their agenda, you know? But yeah, like I said, man, they poisoning us a lot of different ways, man. It's a lot of different ways that we being poisoned, but we got to be hip. So they really getting us. Like with the little small ways that I've mentioned, they really getting us. Y'all know about the air and stuff. We done talked about chemtrails and things like that, which even that still gets called a conspiracy theory. You know, so a lot of different when we start talking about the poisons out here, like people like to say, oh no, that's a conspiracy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can find this article real quick. Give me a second. Y'all know I like to bring up articles to prove points here, or books, whatever the case may be, whatever I got access to. Now I found this is in a book, but I don't feel like getting up to find it. Let me see. You know, sometimes the internet they didn't regulate it and censored a lot of the information, so you may not be able to find it by searching it. But let me see if I can find something. Let me see. Yep, nope. But I've talked about what I was looking up before. It's gonna be hard to find it because, like I said, they regulating and censoring the internet. So if I try to pull it up, they gonna pull up. It's gonna the total opposite of what I'm telling y'all is gonna put up. It's gonna make it or pull up, and it's gonna make it seem like what I'm about to say is not true, but it is what it is, man. But it was talking about birth control pills being found in our water supply, and that places a lot of estrogen in our water. And y'all know what excess estrogen can cause and do, especially to the men. You know, so that they had the birth control pills in the water supply. Boom, let's put that estrogen in that water, and they not even knowing it. But then when you look this up on Google, they're gonna tell you that it's in less than 1% of the water supply. That's literally what's gonna happen. That's literally what's gonna happen. Like it's gonna say, contrary to popular belief, birth control pills account for less than 1% of the estrogens found in the nation's water supply. The funny thing is, they are admitting that birth control pills are found in the nation's water supply, but it's less than 1%. So they didn't deny that the birth control pills are contributing to the estrogen in the water supply. It just said the percentage is less than 1. So they are admitting that the birth control pills in some way, shape, or form are affecting our water supply. That shouldn't even be happening. That should be 0%. Like it shouldn't be no birth control pills affecting our water supply at all. But it's happening. Analyze the wordplay, salacious and magic. Peace, what's happening? But like I said, if you start researching it, they're gonna act like it's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Well, it is a big deal that any birth control pills are tampering with the quality of our water. That doesn't make any sense. Like that should not be happening. But it is. So they got a lot of slick things going on, a lot of slick things that they be on in regards to just poisoning the water, the food, the air, it's everything. The walls, like man, they listen, they stick their poisons anywhere. So we got to be mindful. Y'all know how many times, man, they didn't had certain hazard sites and waste sites in certain communities, and then these people start developing certain types of cancers 20, 30 years after leaving the community. Like, come on, man. Come on now. They lean peace. What's happening? You said, but it's having the opposite effect on women. I wouldn't necessarily say the opposite effect, but it's definitely creating an imbalance with women also. Hence again why we so discombobulated. Rome, there we go. You know, we discombobulated, and a lot of times, man, like a lot of our problems can stem from a lot of different things. Like I said, just the history from back in the day, and then like the foods that we eat. We already know this though. You know what I'm saying? We already know this though. Like the foods that we eat, water, all of these good things. Man, I got a book that talks about the connection between like your mental health and the foods that you consume it. And there are a lot of different foods that you can consume that will improve the quality of your brain, the quality of your mind. Y'all saw the post I made about McDonald's. I mean, not McDonald's, bananas. Yeah, definitely not McDonald's. McDonald's is trash. Crackdonald's is what they call it. But y'all seen the post about bananas, man, and how that can improve the mood. Tryptophan it contains, and that converts over into serotonin, and we know what serotonin is all about. So there are literally foods out here that contain chemicals that can make you feel better. Literally. You know what I'm saying? So that these things play a role. They play a factor in all of that, in our mental health. But they don't tell us that though. You know, when it's mental health time, they just want you to see the rapist, as they call them, a therapist, spend all your money, and that the rapist won't tell you anything about eating certain foods. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have people told you to eat certain foods when it comes to your mental? You dealing with depression. How many times they have told you, eat a banana, eat some nuts or seeds, eat some almonds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, something like that. Eat some spinach. These are foods that help boost the mood. But how many times are these therapists telling you to do that? Nope, they not. They not gonna tell you to do that. Ronald, peace, what's happening? My brother Antonio, peace, what's the word? King Luke, peace, what's happening? They not gonna tell us to do that. It's a money grab out here. They're not gonna tell you that, hey, there are a lot of foods that you can eat that can get your mind right, that can help with the depression. You know, matter of fact, let me see if this book taps into some of that. Because y'all know I'm all about bringing the information to the table. So I'm gonna give y'all this book is like a reference book. This is not something you're gonna read, but I didn't brought this book up before, man. Prescription for Nutritional Healing. This book like 800 plus pages, almost 900 pages. But let me find a few things here. Like anxiety. You know how many people I know that are on some meds for anxiety? How many of these people are being recommended certain foods? When you go to somebody and you tell them I have anxiety, they're gonna prescribe you some type of medication. They're not gonna make it seem like there are certain foods that you can consume that will get that under control. But here we go. We got the book right here, man. We got the book. I'm gonna read to y'all what this book says about anxiety in reference to like what to do nutritionally speaking. Now, how many times, and I'm gonna ask you all at the end of this, how many of you have heard these things or gotten these recommendations to deal with anxiety? So let me go. Recommendations include in the diet apricots, asparagus, avocados, bananas. There go the bananas again. Blackstrap molasses. Blackstrap molasses is good for iron also. So if you are a woman and you are dealing with an iron deficiency, anemia, get some blackstrap molasses and throw that joint in the smoothie. Brewer's yeast, broccoli, brown rice, dried fruits, figs, and this is good for the people that want to consume some meat. fish, especially salmon, garlic, green leafy vegetables, legumes, raw nuts, and seeds. The organic soy products, whole grains, and then yogurt. These foods supply valuable minerals such as calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium, which are depleted by stress. Let me read that again. These foods supply valuable minerals such as calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium, which are depleted by stress. So when you're stressing yourself out, you are losing calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium. So you out of whack. So you got to get yourself back in order by consuming foods that contain a lot of that. And I've done the knowledge to magnesium more than enough times to know that magnesium plays a role in anxiety. Literally, like if you consume enough magnesium, that can calm your nerves. A lot of the ancient cultures talk about magnesium's connection to being like a calming nutrient. So if you consuming foods that's high in magnesium, that can calm you down. Now, let me continue on with the recommendation. Now, it says caution. Brewer's yeast can cause an allergic reaction in some individuals. Start with a small amount at first and discontinue use if any allergic symptoms occur. Try eating small, frequent meals rather than the traditional 3 meals a day. Limit your intake of animal protein. There we go. Concentrate on meals high in complex carbs and vegetable protein. This is for people dealing with anxiety. So if you're dealing with anxiety, limit your intake of animal protein. It's not me saying it. It's the book. Concentrate on meals high in complex carbs and vegetable protein. Avoid foods containing refined sugar or other simple carbohydrates. For a nutritional treatment plan to have maximum benefits, the diet should contain no simple sugars, carbonated soft drinks, tobacco, or alcohol. Do not consume coffee, black tea, cola, chocolate, or anything else that contains caffeine. So if you're dealing with anxiety, do not consume coffee, black tea, cola, chocolate, or anything else that contains caffeine. That's bad for your anxiety. Keep a food diary to detect correlations between your attacks and the foods you eat. Food allergies and sensitivities may trigger panic or anxiety attacks. They not telling us that though. Learn relaxation techniques, biofeedback, and meditation can be very helpful. Get regular exercise, of course. Any type of exercise will work. A brisk walk, bicycle ride, swimming, aerobics, or whatever fits your individual lifestyle. After a few weeks of regular exercise, most people notice an improvement in anxiety symptoms. Be sure to get adequate rest. If sleep is a problem, consult insomnia. Well, say go to the other part of the book that talks about insomnia. And then it gives you a breathing technique to help when you feel like you're about to undergo a panic attack. But how many of you all have heard any of these recommendations by the mainstream public for somebody dealing with anxiety? No. I guarantee you it probably hasn't been a lot. Instead, they're going to tell you, hey, take these meds. Take these meds for your anxiety. They're not going to tell you to eat some asparagus, eat some bananas, some dry fruit, some apricots. They're not going to tell you to do that. No, take these meds. You can't cure your anxiety through food. I don't even sound right to them. Reese, peace, appreciate that donation. And these are simple things. You know how many people I know that deal with anxiety that consumes the coffee, the chocolate, all of these things with caffeine. Last thing you need, if you're dealing with anxiety, that makes you anxious. Last thing you need is something that's going to intensify that feeling. Caffeine is one of the main things that will intensify that anxious feeling. So you definitely do not need anything containing caffeine at that particular point when you are dealing with anxiety. So that should be common knowledge. But they're not telling people that though. They're not telling people that at all. So you gotta change your whole entire way of life, man, when you're dealing with these conditions. And you can easily reverse them. You don't have to be on no anxiety meds. Like what? You shouldn't have to be on meds for something like anxiety. No, like you just shouldn't. You shouldn't. Doors Garden, peace for sure. Get the book. Salacious, get it, order it. I got this joint off Amazon, man, and it breaks down. That was just anxiety. They got things for ADHD. This book literally breaks down almost every ailment that you can name of, that you can think of, and it gives you recommendations like what herbs to take, the dietary approach to reversing it, to treating it, all of that. Gives you everything. What not to do. You know what I'm saying? What to stay away from. It gives you all of that. I mean, it got epilepsy in here, endometriosis, even a dog bite. It lets you know what to eat if you got a dog bite. You know what I'm saying? Like, this book gives you everything. Corns and calluses, Crohn's disease, like everything. Hair loss, growth problems, gout. This book names everything, and it breaks it down. It breaks it down. It's like a reference. Here you go. Prescription for Nutritional Healing. These are the books that y'all got to make sure y'all getting, because these are the books that they will discontinue when things really get real, or these books will become hard to find. So you got to make sure you just have these type of books in your arsenal. It's going to be important. You can always refer to this book. Whatever ailment you're dealing with, boom, just go to that part in the book, and you be like, all right, cool, this is what I need to do. Real simple, man. Real simple. Somebody can name something right now, man. Y'all name a condition right now. I guarantee you I can go to it in this book. Just about. Literally everything. It might be a few things that's not in here, but it pretty much has everything. If you suffering from anything, it got you. Spider bites, man. If you got a spider bite, it's gonna let you know what to do for a spider bite. You know, it has everything. Everything is in this joint. Like I said, it got depression in here. You know. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Now y'all got me, y'all got me looking now. Y'all got me in this thing. Let me see if I can find, because these things have some of the names be different. So let me go to this page and see if we can tap in. I got like a few more of these books too. So this ain't the only one of these type of books that I got. I got a few books that kind of break down a lot of different ailments and whatnot. Yeah, I got a lot of, hold on. Let me go back to the index in here. So yep, there we go. Give me 1 second there, Kev. I got you. Matter of fact, speaking of sleep apnea, man, that's something that, like, my pops got sleep apnea, and so they lump this in. Like I said, sometimes in order to, camera want to move on, but sometimes in order to look this stuff up, like, they link it with other conditions, so they put the sleep apnea in there with the insomnia. So it's pretty much going to tell you to do the same thing. Now, one of the things that we got to be mindful of too with sleep apnea is like alcohol consumption. You know, so we gotta be mindful of that. But let me see where the recommendations are right here. And man, y'all about to hear bananas. Y'all about to hear bananas come up frequently. If you're dealing with sleep apnea, insomnia, all of that. In the evening, eat bananas. There you go, bananas once again. Here we are. Dates, figs, nut butters, whole grain crackers. These foods are, and here go the word right here. These foods are high in tryptophan, which promotes sleep. There we go. There go the word again. There you go. Do not eat large meals within 2 hours of bedtime. Like, basic information that we supposed to know. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine in the 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. I would say avoid that stuff, period. A small amount can help induce sleep initially, but invariably disrupts deeper sleep cycles later. While smoking may seem to have a calming effect, nicotine is actually a neurostimulant and can cause sleep problems. Avoid bacon, cheese, chocolate, eggplant, ham, potatoes, sauerkraut, sugar, sausage, spinach, tomatoes, and wine close to bedtime. These foods contain pteramine, which increases the release of a this word gets me, but it's a brain stimulant. I ain't even about to try to fumble that word. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just know that it's a brain stimulant. So avoid, I'm gonna say the foods to avoid again: bacon, cheese, chocolate, eggplant, ham, potatoes, sauerkraut, sugar, sausage, spinach, tomatoes, and wine close to bedtime. Avoid taking nasal decongestants and other cold medications late in the day, obviously. While many ingredients in these preparations are known to cause drowsiness, they can have the opposite effect on some people and act as stimulants. And then they say give you like a set of habits and follow them consistently. Go to bed only when you are sleepy. Do not stay in bed if you are not sleepy. Get up and move to another room and read. Watch television or do something quietly until you are really sleepy. Hey, sometimes that be working for me. Like sometimes that actually be working. Like I'll watch something that's like uninteresting and I'll be knocked out. Keep a regular sleep-wake cycle. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Set an alarm clock and get out of bed at the same time every morning, no matter how you slept the night before. Sleep in a dark, quiet room with comfortable temperature. Do not nap during the day if this isn't a normal thing for you to do. Especially avoid napping later than 3 p.m. Exercise regularly in the late afternoon or early evening, but not within 2 hours of bedtime. Physical exertion is an excellent way to make your body tired so that sleep comes about more easily. Exercising 5 or 6 hours before bedtime may help you sleep more soundly. Things like this. But yeah, man, I'm gonna try to tap into a lot of these ailments though. Kyle, what you say? You say you need help. You try to read, but you can't focus. How do you take in the information? What I would recommend, first off, a lot of people do like the audio books and things like that. I'm not too fond of those. What I would recommend if you have a problem focusing, start with something that you are very interested in. See, that's the problem. A lot of times we be trying to read things while it may sound like something that's intriguing us, it really isn't. So read something like, I don't care if it's fiction, I don't care if it's sports. Start by reading things that you are very interested in, that you are passionate about. Start reading those things, whatever it is. What's something that you are very passionate about? Start reading about those things. Now, I don't care if you're passionate about wrestling. Read wrestling books. So just start by reading things that you are passionate in, you're very interested in. That's gonna help. That's gonna help with the focus. Don't try to force yourself to read something that's dry. Like, don't do that. Like, if something is real dry, you have a problem focusing. And on top of that, if it's something that's real dry, but you have to read it, a lot of times, man, you got to treat it almost like school. So one way to help, let's just say you need to break down a chapter. Let's say we got chapter 1. Let's say chapter 1 is the proper foods to eat to help me sleep at night. So then you just ask yourself like 3 or 4 questions. Give yourself some questions. After you skim through the chapter, give yourself like 3 or 4 questions. So now you're reading with a purpose. So now you're reading this chapter trying to answer the 3 questions that you came up with. What is the best food? What's the best food to eat to help me sleep better at night? Boom. What food should I avoid before going to sleep? Boom. Like, these are like, ask yourself these questions. Now you're reading with a purpose, and that's helping you focus. Because now you're trying to find the answer to these questions. And every time you get the answer to the question, you stop, jot it down. This is how you get better with reading, comprehending, digesting the information. Give yourself a purpose. Ask yourself questions beforehand. So skim through the chapters and see what you expect to get out of each chapter, and ask yourself questions and then answer the questions. Now, Doris Gordon, I don't see speech impediment in this joint. Let me go back to the index though, because it could be lumped up with something else. But let me see. Let me see if it's lumped in with something else. I don't think it is. Now that one I don't see. Might have to tap into my other books. But arthritis is definitely in here. They definitely give some recommendations for arthritis. And arthritis, that's basically inflammation. I can build a lot on arthritis and diabetes without even having to reference this book. Arthritis is strictly inflammation. One of the best things to do for that inflammation, those spices, garlic, ginger, turmeric, all of that good stuff, and a lot of greens. You want to eat an anti-inflammatory type of regimen or diet, as they call it. You know, but let me go ahead and find it though. So boom. So if you're dealing with arthritis, here you go. Listen up, or if you know somebody that's dealing with arthritis, I'm about to give you some things that they recommend here, courtesy of this book. All right, let me read some things. So if you know somebody that's dealing with arthritis, or if you are dealing with arthritis, this is for you. These are recommendations for you. Eat more sulfur-containing foods such as asparagus, garlic, and onions. Sulfur is needed for the repair and rebuilding of bone, cartilage, and connective tissue, and it also aids in the absorption of calcium. Other beneficial foods include fresh vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables. That's what I was just talking about, along with the garlic, which supply vitamin K. Non-acidic fresh fruits, whole grains, oatmeal, brown rice, and again, fish, soybean products, and avocados. Be sure to include these foods in your diet. Also, tart red cherries can relieve pain and inflammation. Eat about 20 cherries each day. If you can't find fresh cherries, the frozen variety is fine. So let me read that again. Also, tart red cherries can relieve pain and inflammation. Eat about 20 cherries each day. If you can't find fresh cherries, the frozen variety is fine. Consume foods containing the amino acid histidine, including rice, wheat, and rye. Histidine is good for removing excess metals from the body. Many people with arthritis have high levels of copper and iron in their bodies. Eat fresh pineapple frequently. Bromelain, an enzyme found in pineapple, is excellent for reducing inflammation. To be effective, the pineapple must be fresh, as freezing and canning destroys enzymes. Eat some form of fiber, such as ground flax seeds, which is the best way to consume the flax seeds. Make sure they ground it. Oat bran or rice bran daily. Reduce the amount of fat in your diet. Do not consume milk, dairy products, or red meat. Again, it's for people dealing with arthritis. Also avoid caffeine, citrus fruits, paprika, salt, tobacco, and everything containing sugar. Now, this right here is important. Avoid the nightshade vegetables, and that's tomatoes, peppers, white potatoes, and eggplants. These foods contain a substance called solanine, to which some people, particularly those suffering from arthritis, are highly sensitive. Solanine interferes with enzymes in the muscles and may cause pain and discomfort. So stay away from the nightshade vegetables. It's peppers, eggplant, tomatoes, white potatoes, if you have arthritis. And I ain't really gonna tap into the others. So that's a good foundation for somebody dealing with arthritis. And last one I'm gonna tap into for my man Corey is diabetes. But like I said, I can speak on this one. I've done a few videos on diabetes, but I definitely read a few recommendations real quick, because I know we all know somebody dealing with diabetes. We all know somebody dealing with diabetes or borderline diabetic. We all know. We all got somebody that we know. But boom, let me just read a few recommendations if you're dealing with the diabetes here. All right, here we go. In a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, those with diabetes who adopted a healthy diet that included adequate protein, about 20-30%, fats mainly from polyunsaturated fats, about 30%, and carbs, 40 to 50% from fruits. Look at that, fruits. And non-starchy vegetables, and ate a limited amount of whole grains, starchy vegetables, and pasta, had less ill effects from the disease, as evidenced by a reduction in hemoglobin A1C. Those who followed a diet rich in high glycemic load foods such as white and brown rice, baked potatoes, and breads did not get this benefit. So they tell you to stay away from the fruits if you're diabetic. That's some nonsense. So, okay, eat a low-fat, high-fiber diet, including plenty of raw fruits. There go fruits again for the diabetics. So don't be afraid to consume fruits if you're diabetic. And vegetables, as well as fresh vegetable juices. This reduces the need for insulin and also lowers the levels of fats in the blood. Fiber helps to reduce blood sugar surges. For snacks, eat oat or rice bran crackers with nut butter or cheese. Now, I don't recommend the cheese though. Legumes, root vegetables, and whole grains are also good. Remember to regulate your complex carbohydrate intake. And let me see if I see something that's different here. Get your protein from vegetable sources such as grains and legumes. Fish and low-fat dairy products are also acceptable sources of protein. Kidney function in people with type 2 diabetes seems to benefit from dietary soy protein. Again, the organic soy protein, not the GMO soy. No. This protein also raises the level of good cholesterol. So those are just some of the breakdowns for some of these conditions, man. But again, I recommend getting this book. Most of the conditions that you can think of are in that book, and it will give you recommendations in regards to what to do to reverse or treat the ailment or the illness. So we need to keep books like that on deck. Kev, you say, I love to work out, bro. How important and often is rest to you? You should be doing some form of exercise each and every day, but you only really need to go like hard. Like I say about 4 to 5 days where you can go like hard. But it also depends on your body too. You just gotta listen to your body, you know. But right now I'm lifting like extremely heavy. I'm on a powerlifting vibe. So I'm only lifting hard like 3 days out the week. But you could be doing some type of physical activity every day. And you have the days that we call active resting. So it's like a rest day, but you still doing something like yoga, you know what I'm saying? Light stretching, you going for a walk. You resting, but you still moving. You still doing something that's physically active. Salacious, yeah. Yeah, now I forgot to read that, but yeah, salacious is definitely something in here for memory loss. Definitely. So I hope y'all saw the book again, because I seen people asking what's the book again. Rohan, peace, what's happening? Rohan, nah, if you're talking about 4 liters of water, we gonna go away from the recommendations in regards to how much water to drink. Just analyze the urine, because outside of drinking actual water, like you can get water intake from fruits and all of that. So a lot of times we not understanding that, you know. So analyze that urine, man. If that urine is like almost clear with a hint of yellow and is little to no odor, we good. We properly hydrated. Properly hydrated for sure. Rohan, there you go, man. Squats is one of the best things you can do for the body. And a lot of people are afraid to squat because they do it improperly. And they blame the squat for them being injured. It wasn't the squat that injured you. It was the form. It was you trying to throw too much weight on there too soon. Same with like deadlifting and things like that. You wasn't following a proper program. That's what hurt you, not the actual exercise. So I really don't like when people blame certain exercises for their injury, because a squat is not harmful. It's only when you do it incorrectly and when you follow an incorrect progression. That's when it becomes harmful. But the squat in and of itself with some weights is not detrimental. Deadlifting with some weights is not detrimental. No, it's your form. It's your program. You trying to go too heavy. That's what's taxing the back. Every 4th week, you should be scaling back on the intensity. If you're not doing that, if you're trying to go hard every week and you increasing your weight every week on this deadlift and you never having a light week, yes, you taxing your back. But that's not the deadlift that's doing that. That's you incorrectly programming the deadlift or the squat. That's what's causing the injury. So make sure form is everything, man. Make sure you master that form before you try to add a lot of weight. Form is everything. Form is everything. When you are exercising, form is everything. If you just got to deal with the bar for a minute, then just deal with the bar. I'd rather you deal with the bar and master that form opposed to just trying to add weight and your form is trash. Like, yes, you will get hurt then. That's definitely one way to get injured. But yeah, I be hitting people be hitting me up left and right, man. You know, we always putting in work in the fitness community. As y'all see, you know what I'm saying? The health and fitness topics don't generate the buzz that it should. Most people out here ain't drinking water properly, but they'll be tapped in, like I said, if I was talking about some BS out here. You know, but all right, like he talking about water, man. We don't want to hear him talk about water. Hey, suit yourself. We eating to live. We trying to live out here. We trying to prosper. We ain't trying to deal with that negativity. We trying to prosper. We trying to be in the best shape of our lives out here. That's the most important thing. I'm trying to be in some good shape, some great shape. I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to reach that optimal level of health. That's what I'm focused on. And any way that I can get there, I'm striving to get there. Like, that's what I'm on. All this other stuff don't even make any sense for me to focus on. You know, I'm finna answer a question right here because everybody, y'all know how I get. I see somebody on my stats talking about protein, and then somebody telling them to eat a steak. Y'all already know I gotta tap in. Nah, like people gotta chill out. Get them hemp seeds, get your lentils, quinoa, get your quinoa in your system. Hey, get some spinach because Popeye ate the spinach. You know, we gonna break it down, man. I do not like when people start acting like, again, it's 2022, man. Why are we still acting like we don't know the protein to get when you go plant-based? It's ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous, man. That I got somebody telling a person to eat a steak. Y'all know that don't ever sit well with me, man. We don't go down like that. I'm gonna stop that. Yeah, get you some chickpeas in your system, man. Everything. I'm gonna recommend all these foods. All that, man. We're gonna make sure we get, like, we ain't gonna play with them, man. But let me go ahead and make this comment, man. Like I said, I don't like when people do that. We in there though. Beast by Bless on out. Peace. What's happening? Oh, for sure. That's why I tell people, man, when you don't like water, you don't like yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you don't like water, you don't like yourself. How you not gonna like something that's you, that makes you? You know what I'm saying? So you don't like water, you don't like yourself, but that's not surprising. Like, you don't like something that your body is made of. Like, make that make any sense? You don't like water, but yet your body technically is supposed, like, over 50% of that is supposed to be water, but you don't like it though. Yeah, you don't like yourself. Needed for sure. Definitely for the birds. Like I said, we striving to be timeless out here. All this other stuff, ain't nobody gonna be able to tap into it 20 years from now. They're gonna be like, man, what was these people on 20 years ago? But nah, something like breaking down water is gonna always be relevant. It may not be popular and relevant now, but trust me, you know, this is timeless information. And that's what we trying to push. We want to push timeless information. We're not trying to push trendy information. Timeless. Like, I'll be able to, you're gonna always be able to go back and say, all right, man, what was dude talking about water? This gonna always be useful information. You're gonna always be able to analyze your urine to determine if you properly hydrated or not. Always. You're gonna always have to be mindful of the way that they poison in the water. Always. Rohan, yeah. So I was recommending earlier in the stream, I recommended people get this little water tester. It lets you know how pure your water is, how contaminated it is. You just boom, you put joint in the glass and you just stick that, you crack this mug open. Yeah, you crack this mug open like so, stick it in the water, and it's gonna give you a number. And then it lets you know where that number ranks. So I recommend getting this little water tester. It's like $14.95 or something, $14.97 on Amazon. Boom. And then you able to test your water to see how healthy your water is, how pure or contaminated your water is. So this mug is crucial, man. I definitely use this often. When I go somewhere, man, it's new, I gotta test the water out.